We are here today talking for the film Lady Valor, the Kristin Beck story, and we are so incredibly blessed to have with us the co-director and the subject of the film. My name is Alexis Whitham. I'm the Director of Educational Programming and Acquisitions at Frameline, and if you ladies could introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kristin Beck.
Kristin Beck, Purple Heart Award winner, bronze medalist, Navy SEAL, and now transgender rights advocate.
Yes,
all right.
Pretty much says it all.
Sandrine?
And I'm Sandrine Orabona. I'm the co-director of the film along with Mark Herzog, who's off screen. So that's me.
Great, welcome so much. Thank you so much for coming to Frameline. Welcome. Sandrine, tell us about your experience with directing your first feature-length documentary.
Well, this is certainly a good one to get started with. Kristin is someone who's got an incredible story, so it makes it easy to direct a feature-length documentary because there's a lot of story to be told. And I was fortunate that we had a great crew, and Mark was an active storyteller as well as Kristin, and a lot of the people that were involved in this were, maybe it was our first, on paper feature-length documentary, but we've done a lot of work in the film industry, and so it was just a great opportunity for us to spread our wings artistically and tell a great story about a great person.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we became pretty good friends.
Yeah,
along
I
the
can
way.
see that.
Yeah.
So, Kristin, tell us a little bit about how everything got started with you personally, and also with Sandrine and making the film.
When I first retired from the military, I always knew I was this. I've always been transgender. But in the military, I had to kind of bottle it up and hide it. After I retired, I came out and I said, I am transgender and this is me. This is the real me. At that point, I started finding out the violence and so many other things and problems within the transgender community. And I just felt that I wanted to say something. And I wanted to say something from my Navy SEAL experience and just try to give a voice to some of this violence to people that don't know about it. And so I approached a couple of people, and then we ended up meeting up with Herzog, and then they set up a wonderful crew, and I think we made a pretty good product. I think it's a pretty good story.
It's a really beautiful film, and it kind of opens with a meeting between a number of transgender retired military folks. It's really interesting. I don't think that that's a story that we hear very often, and was that important to you, that it's not just about you, that it's about sort of the whole community?
It has to be about the whole community. Mm-hmm. If all we do is focus in on one person, then you only see that one little piece of the world. I want it to be about, all of us together, the LGBTQA community as a whole. And I especially like to point out the allies. I mean, the allies are a huge support to me, the Navy SEALs and my family and so many other friends that have just helped along the way. And I think that we don't give, everyone else enough credit. So it's been a wonderful story and a wonderful community to be a part of. And I think that this story will enlighten a lot of people about the truth of who we are, and get away from the stereotypes and get away from, what we see on the media normally is not the real life people. Yeah. So this hopefully will change that view.
Yeah. And Kristin, when you and I were talking about sort of what your life is like now, one of your primary identities at this point is an activist, right? And I think it kind of has to be. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing at present to kind of keep rolling with transgender military activism.
Well, I still work in Washington, D.C. I go into the Pentagon quite often and I speak to people. And it's the same thing. I'm just trying to give them information. I'm not pushing anything on anybody. I'm not really forcing any ideas of who we are, but there are 15,000 transgender people serving in uniform right now. And so I just try to give those people a voice, and I try to give them something. They're all in hiding. It's illegal to be transgender and be in the military at this time. And so I just try to give them a voice. And I give it a real face and a real person, not just a word, not just saying transgender, not just an idea. So that when they are voting or they're making decisions, they're basing those decisions on real people and on real accounts instead of stereotypes or just the words themselves. I'm also the spokesperson for the Transgender Violence Tracking Portal. And just this past week, we had someone killed in Baltimore. A little less than a week ago, someone was killed in Florida. And then also we had the young lady in Los Angeles who was also murdered. So there's an immense amount of violence against transgender people. I mean, we wear it on our sleeve. This is me. This is obvious. It's not something I can cover up. And so a lot of people are violent towards transgender people. So we have a portal and a tracking project to try to figure out, where all this violence is coming from and how to cure it, or how to at least let people know this is really going on. Let's fight this. It's like a disease. It's like a bigotry and prejudice is just so deep within so much of our culture. I want to stop that. Treat me like a human being, and I'd be kind of happy.
And have you noticed with the film playing with LGBT audiences or with military audiences or at general interest, festivals or screenings? Do you notice a difference in the reactions? Do you notice a difference in the questions? Or
this really is our first LGBT festival, to be honest with you. So we're looking forward to seeing what the reaction is. Kristin is an activist for this particular subject, as she should be. We like to think of it as a human story. So far we've been fortunate that the audiences that have seen it, and the more kind of general audiences have seen it that way as well. And we believe that that's the best way to have any kind of activism, is to show the similarities between people rather than the differences. And when Mark was first introduced to this story, I think that's what he immediately responded to. It was an amazing story, and it could speak to a number of different people. And Kristin is a very complex person, and and so she has a wide reach, and that's what we're looking forward to, specifically, when it airs on CNN and stuff. But we are interested to see how the LGBT community responds to it, because it's going to be our first one here. So
that's great. And when does it air on CNN?
September 4th?
September 4th.
September 4th, yes. We're very fortunate.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your service, Kristin. Thank you so much for bringing us this amazing film, Sandrine, and thank you, Kristin, as a subject, for opening up in this documentary. It's so profoundly intimate and no holds barred, and I'm 100% positive that the Frameline audience is going to love it. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.